So what we're going to do for today is, for starts, we are going to be making a Stryker SF deck. Create your first battle group. Why, thank you. Recon, we gotta have the Sentinel. You know what we also have? We need to have music volume down a little bit there, Chief. Music down a little bit. Okay, so Sentinels. It's vital that you have Sentinels in your deck if you are playing SF. I am going to literally take nothing else from there, and I'm going to go to immediately the Bushmaster 2 Javelin Stryker RV, put APS on that bitch, and I'm going to jack that shit up. As many of those as I can possibly have in my deck. I'm then going to go with, let's do you guys with the Stingers, and let's give you a single Silent Hawk in case we need it. And then we are going to go anti-material, give you optics, and probably hold there just if needed. We'll keep it like that. I think that's what I would like to do for now. We are not going to be pushing with infantry too much with these guys. Obviously without the Green Berets, obviously without the Rangers. These guys are very good with this. They're also very good with this. We're going to hold it for now. We'll keep it that way for now. This is a very unique kind of setup for this. There's definitely a lot of different things that you can do with the Stryker SF. Well, Stryker or SF on their own. There's a lot of things that you can do. Okay, so there's only so many different Strykers that you can get with the Javelins themselves, all of which can get APS. The Dragoons do not get a Javelin. They just have the cannon, which is pretty nice. However, the meat is in the Javelin itself. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with, let's do AGS, or sorry, Mark 19. I'm going to go for these. These are going to be the Javelin boys. And then with the troopers, because you can only have 4, let's do 4 of these Dragoons. Now, here's the other thing, too. If you want that cannon, the RV gets the cannon. This gets the cannon, and it gets the Javelin, and it gets APS. So if there was a situation where I wanted that cannon, if I wanted a Stryker with that cannon, I'm getting these, and they're 175 points a pop. So you're not really going to be using those a whole lot. You're not. They're just basic fire support, maybe get up to the line quickly. So this has been the contention, or this was the contention when I was playing in April, is if I want that cannon for that price, do I want the Javelin to come along with it? And I don't know if I want that. I think I want, if I want something, I want that Javelin to be with it. If I want something with that cannon. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm only going to take 2 just in case, because it's a little bit cheaper. It's 75, you're 70 points cheaper. So I'm going to jack out the troopers, which get the it does get the Stinger, but it only gets 1. So I'm going to stack those Stinger teams together as much as possible, for sure. But the Dragoons itself, like I said, it gets the APS, it gets the cannon, but it doesn't get a Javelin, which is pretty important. And if I wanted this vehicle to do the thing, you're going to want a Javelin with it, so that's why I would go with the RV. So I'm only going to take 2. Combat Engineers, we're leaving alone because we're going to be able to have these other badass infantry. If we are getting a Vehicle Swarm, we're going to want the Maws, which are right there. You get 3 of them. Those things are stacked up pretty heavily. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a War Pig with the Fletcher, a little bit of closer range AA, very close range AA, but also light vehicle and infantry capabilities with that there. And then we are going to go to Ranger Stingers. Ranger Stingers, again, you only get 1. And you can switch them to the Javelins, but Javelin's a little bit too close range. I'm not too worried about it. If I want Javelins, I am going to have the things with javelins. I'm going to have the Strykers. I'm going to have other squads with it. But what I do worry about is SHORAD for the US, so I'm going to keep them with Stingers. And I'm going to bring them with the War Pig as well, except this time I'm going to put the TOW2 Bunker Buster on there. So a bit further range, heavy anti-infantry, a bit of an extra tool if I need it, and I'm going to keep that like that, and I'm going to bring 2 of those like that. Some of you are saying, where the fuck is your infantry? And I'm going to see if I can actually fit a couple of these Delta Forces in here, specifically as close quarters so they can get up in people's faces. And it looks like I'm a little off, so what we're going to do is we are going to take away... We're going to take away these entirely. And we're going to hold that there like that, I think is the play for now. Not a big infantry guy, if you guys haven't been able to tell. Bookers, all right, we're jacking that up. Where'd the music go? I guess we'll go back to this. All right, so Bookers. I want at least 4 Bookers, and you're not able to put too much else in there. MGSs are a little bit weird. They're a little bit weird. So for those that don't know, APFSDS is what you use against armor. It's only a 105, so it's not as good as the other tanks. It's a tank gun. It's an Abrams gun that they decided to put on wheels. That's the Stryker MGS. It's not a 120. Usually it's 120. Usually those 120 rounds are better against tanks. But for some reason this is... not for some reason. For some reason they decided to put the 105 on here. And it's okay. Like, it's good. It'll do the job. You only get 6 rounds. And it's kind of paper. So it's kind of this annoying thing where, like, if it shoots too much and it doesn't do enough damage, it kind of... You're kind of in trouble. So I'm probably going to have builds with the MGS. They're a very good unit. I will use it at some point. I'm just not going to use it in this deck. I think what I'm going to do is instead is if I can jack this up to some kind of anti-infantry hellspawn kind of a thing. I can't. So we're going to leave it like that for now. Something that is extremely powerful as well is this when you put the APS on it. Because what'll happen sometimes is you'll run ATGM vehicles up against other ATGM vehicles. And then it's just an ATGM duel who's going to hit first. APS super effective in stopping that while also shooting back with your own ATGMs. Very powerful. And especially if you do the top attack. So again, but pretty expensive. So again, really good unit. I think I'm going to have a use for it, but not in this deck. And if I bring that many Bookers, I think I'm not going to be able to bring anything else there because it's only the 10% increase. So we're going to leave that there. MSE. MSE with the 12. No other gun, but up armored. We're bringing 2 of them, bitches. The SF deck, you don't get anything in your support tab, so you need to watch out for that. The big thing with the Pack 3 MSE, which we'll see if we still do it, we have the missiles per target and we have the multi-targets. If you go lower than the 12, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal because you still get the multi-target with 3, but it's not 2 missiles per target. Personally, I think that is extremely effective if you're looking over here, so I'm keeping that. We're going Pack 3 MSE. SHORAD, potentially the best, according to some. AA unit in the game. I disagree. I think it needs a smoke grenade, which they did not give it. But it is still, regardless, very good. So we're going to bring 3. And you're already starting to see we're running into issues. So I think what I'm going to do is do that. They seem to have nerfed the Stryker SF deck. If I had to guess. We're going to want cluster. They seem to have nerfed it. We're going to go 1 HIMARS. And we're going to go... nothing extra on that one. Go 2 of these boys. Yeah, they nerfed Stryker SF because I had more room to play with last time. I for sure did. Yeah, I for sure did. They nerfed it, boys. Or maybe not. Maybe I only had 2 SHORADs. Maybe I only had... Let's check that, because that is 2 there. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. That's scary, though. That is scary, only having 2 of those SHORADs. It really is. That is scary. Okay, so then I think what we're going to do is we'll limit that and we'll go with one more of them. This is pretty important to your team, though. This is pretty important. Okay, so we're going to go Comanche, rockets, sensor radar. This is going to be basically a stealthy reconnaissance in the air from me. You got the 2,400 meter range. It's stealthy. It can hide, and it can evade a little bit with the ECM, so that is what I use it for. We've got the Guardian, very effective anti-tank, so we're going to go with a mix and match so that it can effectively hit tanks, and if something pops up in front of it that isn't a vehicle, i.e. a man-pad squad or something that's a lighter target, you can stun it with the Guardian. We can stun it with the daggers. Very expensive, though, so you need to watch out for that. Osprey for Speedy Boy, and Killer Eggs for... Let's put the Hellfires on there as well, just as another something quick to hit tanks in case we run into issues there. We'll put 2 of them there. And perhaps let's do... Daps? Okay, so no supply on them, but supply on the Osprey. All right, screw the Daps. Are we doing that? Yeah, we're doing that. Air. Important. F-35As. They're going to get the 2,000 pounders. These are going to be YOLO running. 2,000 pounder. 2,000 pounder. If you get 4 of them now? Have you always been able to get 4? You haven't always been able to get 4, right? Am I high? I don't think we were able to get 4. I don't think that was a thing. Regardless, we're going back down to 2. Because I need some seed. Nice, guys. Very nice. Very, very nice. Wait. Wait. Oh, I forgot. You get 2 stock. I thought they made the fucking F-16 CJ only be able to bring 2 arms. I forgot you get 2 stock anyway. All right, we're going to go there. Now, we're leaving it like that. We're leaving it like that. Are we, though? There's not really anything to say right now. I'm just kind of, my brain is kind of braining. As I take a look at this setup here. Yeah, they only get 1 stinger per team. That's 90, that's 80. 30 health, 45. But this is pretty nice. Having these 338 MGs are actually okay. Yeah, yeah. Get these guys out there too. All right, there's a lot of SHORAD. All right, we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it. We're gonna run it. US number 2. God, there's so many ideas that I have. All right. Let me take a look at what I think is going to be a good beginner deck for the US. I'll take a look at that. This deck, I don't suggest that you use for the US. This is what I suggest that you guys are going to use if you are newer. And this is going to be the first test of our clipping. So, Bradleys, Recon Bradleys, jack those up. With the Cav Scouts. They get the Javelins. They're very nice. Very nice, very nice. Scout Snipers. With anti-material. And put that on as well. One of those. And a couple of B-Fists. Jacked. Hold there for now. Infantry. You guys in the Bradley. Jacked. Up. You get 2 stingers. At least I think you do. Why did I think you get 2 stingers? Where the fuck are your double swing? Did they not get... Where's the double stinger team? Oh, it's the airborne. It's the airborne. Shit. Okay, never mind. You're gonna want 4 of those. Bring 2 of those. Marine squad that has everything. You're gonna want overfly. Get these guys high up in the building. They're pretty damn good when you do that. Smaws. Good to go. Couple of them. Marine. Standoff. Mech engineers with the bunker busting Bradley. 2 of you boys. Four, 4, 2, good to go. Step A3 or Step B3. This thing is a massive distraction. The second the enemy team sees these, they're going to say, okay, we need that thing dead. So you can use it as a distraction. And it's also just the best tank in the game. Very, very effective tank as well. So use it how you will. Take 2 of those. And I think what we're going to say is 2 FEPs. Similar. Very similar. But different. Same, but different. And I did want to say I wanted to see what those jammers were like, so we're going to jack those up. And leave that for now. Pack 2. 4. Jack those up. 6,000, 15, one of those bitches. Pivads, don't forget your pivads. I think I'll bring 3, I think was the number. M270A2. Cluster. Cluster non-ballistic. Out 2. 6,000, exactly. Okay, there we go. 2 of them bitches. Lavad. Armor. Keep the stinger pods. 3. Shorad, aka the linebacker, when you do that. I think we're going to do that. Helicopter, Osprey, Speedy Boy, Venom, Extra, Super Cobra, Sidewinder, Hydras, keep them cheap, 135, jack those up. These things love to fucking kill planes. They love it. So QRF AA, essentially, with these. And you can see a little bit. You can see a little bit, and you can bring a little bit. You can bring a lot, and you're fast. There you go. That's the description there. F-35B, JSOW. You can only bring 2. So we're bringing 1, I think, was the setup there. Harm, quad harm, prowler, loiter. Where's the D? Giggity. Slam ERs. Fuel. Empty. 315. What am I missing? They've changed the cost of these. Fuck. All right, so given the circumstances, I think what I'm going to do is... So here's the thing. You can send these Slam ERs at a SAMnet. And they're going to intercept the Slam ERs. Because if they don't, they're going to kill the SAMnet. But what you could also do is you can have these Prowlers going. And because their radar is on so that they can intercept the Slam ERs, you're going to seed them while they're trying to kill the Slam ERs. So it's a very good 1-2 punch. If you guys would like to do that, do that. But what's also extremely effective is the YOLO runs with the stealth planes for the United States. I am going to decide to not do as many Prowlers so that I can do both. I think is probably the best decision. It's only 4 missiles. It might not be that... damn it, dude. Yeah, because the YOLO run on itself is pretty powerful. YOLO run on itself is pretty powerful. On its own. Can I not have ECM and the designation pod? Can I not? It doesn't look like I can. So here's the thing with the designation pods. Any planes that have ATGMs, if they're just flying low, you can just laze targets as you go by, and you don't need to do a strafe run in order for it to ATGM that target. So it's pretty powerful. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'll keep the designation pod. The ECM hit is going to be pretty significant, I think, potentially. But what I'm going to be using it for is if something gets behind my line, maybe I'll find a way to destroy that AA threat in a different way. And I'll have a little bit of seed with it as well. It's too expensive. Fuck. All right, spend the points elsewhere. Let's more blams. Blams are very good against light vehicles as well, which might start to become even bigger of an issue. These guys do get 2 AT4s for that price and the MGs. No, we're leaving them. Javelins? You only get 1 and you only get 3 rounds, I think. 4. Hey, woohoo. Okay. That is an 8-man squad with a 240 and a... You know what? Yeah, we're doing that. Never mind. We're going with another one of these, I think, is going to do it. Yep, that is going to do it. Quick maths, quick maths. So, you can do a little bit of everything with this deck. You should be able to have the proper effect on your game with this deck. And it's not going to be super, super, super micro intensive for you. There's not too much infantry. There's not too many vehicles, although you can get there with the Bradleys if you go a little bit too ham. But generally speaking, if you are trying to hold a slightly urban environment, slightly, it's not full urban and it's not full field or it's not full forest, but it's got some forest, it's got some open fields for sure. Since you're armored, have some open fields nearby that you can take potentially and hopefully, ideally, something with a point on it, so that you can push to it with your vehicles, and then when you then take it, you can hold it with a bit of your infantry. You can have your holding line be the Bradleys, maybe a tank or two. Pull your pushing force back, rearm, repair, and then if anything's in your way, if there's some trouble, you can bomb them, you can definitely artillery them, and you can protect yourself with your AA. And also, you are fulfilling your obligation to your team when you choose this spec by having the furthest range SAM systems that you can have as the United States. You have the best artillery when it comes to just anti-everything when it comes to the M270. Ideally, you don't want to shoot at, infantry with this, but this is fantastic at killing SAM sites. It's fantastic at killing supply depots. It's fantastic at killing artillery if they do not move. This is a great anti-helicopter platform. Also, this in particular soaks up those seed missiles when you're coming in. When you set up your SAMnet with your PAC-2s, put your PAC-2s down, give them a little bit of distance, have supplies there with them, put the PIVADs with the radar on in front of those PAC-2s. Ideally, when I say in front, in the direction that the seed missiles are ideally going to be coming from, most likely going to be coming from, and then in front of those PIVADs, have a SHORAD with its radar on. It will soak the first ones, not too far, but it will soak the first ones. These will also try to intercept, and also it'll also try to intercept on its own there with its gun. And these will also try to eliminate, and it'll try to intercept those missiles, those seed missiles, as they come into your Patriots. And then you've got your Patriots, which will also attempt to help, if not shoot down the plane themselves. If you have a plane issue, you've got these, and you've got these. Otherwise, you're kind of tough luck. This is all you've got against planes. This is not going to do it. This is almost certainly not going to do it. This definitely will do it. You only get 8 missiles. There's only 2 of them, and everybody else is going to be trying to seed them and trying to kill them. These are fantastic, and people don't expect them. They're very cheap. They think they're going to be 300 points, but they're not. They're 135 points, and they have 2 sidewinders, which when the planes come in for the gun run, very effective. And if you stack them all quad, that's 8. So you get 8 sidewinders. Chances are those planes are going to die. If you need something dead, particularly a supply depot kind of artillery thing going on, YOLO run, drop a JSAL on them. If it's a SAMnet, YOLO run, drop a JSAL on them. If the SAMnet is particularly feisty, save up some points, throw some slam ERs at that closest SAMnet, wait a couple of seconds, have that Prowler ready to go behind it so that it's seeding that SAMnet as well as those slam ERs going on. They can either turn their radar on and intercept the slams while getting seeded, or they can keep their radar off and then get killed by the slams. Recon, 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 push, push, hold. That's all she wrote. All right. Let's see if that clips.